Oh, there you go. Peter.
Especially junior. We see on the news that death rate is rising. I'm looking at our computer system, I get the names. And I know who died of COVID and who did not. And I see a lot of COVID on the files. We're seeing a second wave. I'd be here all day, you'd be like 9 o'clock in the morning, I would be home at 10 at night. Right, because after 4 with my sauce spraying, I can't walk the food. Where she is, I'm not hugging my kid. Keep up, you're old man, you find new rehearsals, and it's storage. We went from being able to hold like 40 remains in our cooler system to like 120. And I need more space right now. And as we forced to take unthinkable measures, limiting the number of loved ones gathering to grieve. So we find security guards, so they send people, we're nightclub or something, trying to
Morning, everybody.
Morning.
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 Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Do we have everybody here?
Staff is here.
Okay.
OPC is present.
And the company, okay.
Yes, Your Honor, we have the two company witnesses present. Pardon me. And before we go on the record, I just want to apologize to everybody. This is totally Chesapeake's fault, and I really appreciate the accommodation. Sorry, Your Honor, about the incorrect start time.
Okay. Thanks. Okay. Can we go on the record?
You're on the record, Your Honor.
Thank you. Good morning. Today is November 19th, 2020. My name is Christine Burke. I am the Public Utility Law Judge assigned by the Maryland Public Service Commission. Here, case number 9515C, which is captioned in the matter of the continuing investigation of the purchase gas adjustment charges of Elkton Gas Company. If you're not muted and you're not speaking, could you please mute? I'm getting a little bit of feedback. Okay. We're here today for an evidentiary hearing in this matter. Somebody is not muted.
Your Honor, not everybody's muted.
Yeah.
Please check their. Is Martin there? You're not muted. The one with MARTI.
Is that Mr. Patterson?
You.
It's Felix.
Felix, it's not muted. There you go.
Thank you. Yes, perfect. Thank you. So we're here today for an evidentiary hearing in this matter. We're starting this morning at 10. However, as Mr. Quinn had noted, I noticed in the company's publication for today's hearing a start time of 10 a.m. So although the notice that was issued was for 11 a.m. In order to avoid excluding anyone from the public who saw the 10 a.m. start time today, we'll begin and just take appearances, then pause and continue at 11 a.m. I appreciate everybody making themselves available. So we'll begin by taking appearances for the company.
Thank you, Your Honor. Brian Quinn here today on behalf of Chesapeake Utilities, and I have the company's two witnesses, in this case, Matt Evergnam and Will Chris, available. Thank you.
For staff?
Good morning, Your Honor. Peter Wilson on behalf of the staff. And I have two witnesses, Olivia Kukendall and Felix Patterson.
And OPC?
Good morning, Your Honor. Philip Sheehan on behalf of OPC. I have no witnesses today.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Again, we will begin again at 11 a.m. As that was the start time that originally was scheduled. I will put up a slide that indicates that we will resume at 11. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, so far so good. If everyone just mute them. Okay, is everybody back? All right, welcome back. 11 o'clock. We're continuing the matter of investigation of the purchasing gas adjustment charges of Elkton Gas Company, case number 9515C. This is the Maryland Public Service Commission. My name is Christine Burke. We're continuing on, I believe, with any preliminary matters that we may have, Mr. Quinn.
Well, you're on the record, Your Honor.
You just
You're on
now?
the record. Yes, you're on the record.
Thank you. Well, this is a continuing matter of case number 9515C with the Maryland Public Service Commission in the matter of the continuing investigation of the purchase gas adjustment charges of Elkton Gas Company. We're continuing an evidentiary hearing today. Mr. Quinn, do you have any preliminary matters?
Thank you, Your Honor. Just want to point out that Elkton filed the notice of hearing of today's hearing within the docket on November 12th. Not sure if we want to make that an exhibit here this morning or not. If we need to, if we do, that would probably be Elkton Exhibit number 1.
Okay, so is there any objection to the certificate of publication coming in as Elkton's Exhibit 1?
No objection.
Okay. Elkton's Exhibit 1 will be admitted into the record. Mr. Quinn, would you want to proceed with your first witness?
Thank you very much, Judge. Yes, Elkton would like to call Mr. Matthew Evernam to the screen, to the stand. Looks like his video is working. Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Evergreen. Could you raise your right hand, please?
Yes, Judge.
Thank you. Could you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Evernam, do you have a document in front of you that is entitled Direct Testimony of Matthew M. Evernam on behalf of Elkton Gas Company?
Yes, I do.
Is that testimony dated November 5th, 2020?
Yes, it is.
Does that document consist of a cover page and a total of 7 pages of Q&A testimony plus 1 exhibit that includes a September 28th letter to the commission and 10 schedules labeled A through J?
Yes, it does.
Was this testimony prepared by you or under your direct supervision?
It was.
Do you have any corrections or edits to make to your testimony this morning?
Yes, I would like to make a change to my testimony with regard to the ACA rate to be in effect.
Mr. Everhand, could you please speak up because I'm not getting a good recording from you?
Yes, can you hear me better now?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Yes, I do have one change to my testimony with regard to the ACA rate to be into effect. The company agrees with the recommended ACA rate in staff witness Felix Patterson's testimony and exhibit, and the changes to my testimony are to reflect that agreement. My change would begin on page 5 with the sentence that starts at the end of line 20. And that sentence reads, I think we're getting some feedback here.
Yeah, please repeat what you just said there in that last sentence.
Yeah. So my change would begin on page 5 with a sentence that starts at the end of line 20. And that sentence in my testimony reads, for the most recent year under review, the company experienced an overcollection of $395,715. That value would be changed to $391,338. That would impact the next line as well, the sentence that reads, coupled with a true-up of last year's ACA rate of $66,571 overcollected, this equates to a total overcollection of $462,286. The $462,286 should be $457,909. And then further, in that sentence, it states, and results in an ACA credit of 0.08129 per therm. That ACA credit in my testimony should say 0.08052. And that would be in agreement with the rate that is filed in witness Felix Patterson's testimony from staff. And then there would be one final edit to my testimony based on what we just edited, and that would be on page 6, and it would be the sentence that begins on line 21. And with that sentence reads, the ACA component charge computed in Schedule G is a decrease of 0.22513 per therm. That decrease with the newly agreed upon ACA rate, instead of 0.22513 per therm, should be 0.22463 per therm. And then the rest of the sentence should read from a charge of 0.14384 to a credit of 0.08052 per therm. Mr. Quinn, you're on mute.
Thank you, Mr. Everdam. Could you very briefly and slowly and speak up, please, explain why those changes were necessary?
Yeah, in review of the original filing, while staff was doing their review, it was found that there was one invoice in August that was an incomplete invoice that was entered into the company's calculation, and therefore we updated that invoice in the company's calculation to make the changes that I just spoke about in the testimony that flowed through to the change in the rate.
Thank you, Mr. Everdam. Would you describe that error as inadvertent or what?
Yes, that was an inadvertent error that the company had when it originally prepared the schedules.
Okay. Now, with these changes, is the information in your direct testimony true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, it is.
And with these changes, if I asked you these questions today, would your answers be the same?
Yes, they would.
And do you adopt this pre-filed testimony with these changes as your sworn testimony in this matter?
Yes, I do.
Your Honor, I'd like to have Mr. Everdam's edited testimony marked as Elkton's Exhibit 2 and moved into the record.
No objections, Your Honor.
Any objection from anyone?
No objections, Your
Okay. Mr. Evergram's testimony will be moved into the record with the Exhibit ME1 and attachments Schedules A through J that was filed on November 6th. Will be Elkton's Exhibit 2.
Thank you very much, Your Honor, for the time. And Mr. Everdam is available now for cross-examination.
OPC, do you have any questions? Mr. Sheehan.
We have no questions for Mr. Everdam.
Okay, Mr. Wilson.
I have no questions, Your Honor.
Okay, I had one question. Mr. Everdam, when looking at the case from last year, 9515B, the ACA factor ordered was to recover for an undercollection of $765,461 for the prior 12-month period. In this case, the ACA factor developed is to refund for an overcollection of $457,909. Could you explain the reason or reasons why there would be a significant change from the prior case?
Yes, when looking at the current case, we have undercollection, or the overcollection is $457,909. The primary driver for that, as we look at the original filings and the GSRs that were into effect, is the fact that there were increased volumes based on the budget. So when you have the increased volumes, you've got a over collection of your fixed costs. That would be also coupled with the fact that the commodity prices fell through the year. So the projected commodity prices ended up being lower than the projected commodity prices were higher than the commodity prices actually came in during the year. So that would also lead to an over collection. So the additional volumes coupled with lower than anticipated commodity prices led to the over collection this year.
Okay. I don't have any more questions. Is there any questions in light of my questions?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
I do have a question about the over collection. The change in rate will apply prospectively, or is the money returned to the people immediately?
The change in rate, so it is the ACA is in effect over a 1-year period. So the funds, whether it's an over collection or under collection, go through the next year period. And there's a set dollar amount that we know we need to of $457,909. That would be in place to return through the year. And then next year, when we get to this hearing, there, in addition to what will happen with a true up of the current year's over under collection, any variance from the ACA, what the ACA gave back over the year from the $457,909 versus what actually was returned would be included in the next year's ACA rate. So it's a 1-year period, but then there's also an additional true up that happens in the next case that we have.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Thank you. Any other questions for Mr. Abergam? No. Mr. Quinn, your next witness.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. Elkton Gas would call to the stand William Chris.
Mr. Chris, can you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Please proceed, Mr. Quinn.
Good morning, Mr. Chris.
Good morning.
Do you have a document in front of you that's entitled Direct Testimony of William R. Chris on behalf of Elkton Gas Company?
I do.
Does that document consist of a cover page and a total of 7 pages of question and answer testimony?
Yes.
Do you have any changes or corrections to make to your testimony today?
No.
Is the information in your direct testimony true and correct, the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
If I were to ask you these same questions today, would your answers be the same?
Yes.
And do you adopt your pre-filed testimony as your sworn testimony in this matter?
I do.
With that, Your Honor, I'd like to have Mr. Chris's pre-filed testimony marked as Elkton Exhibit Number 3 and moved into the record.
Okay. For the record, I just wanted to note that there were 7 pages, but there were no page numbers listed on that testimony. So beginning with page 1, the cover sheet of that testimony, we'll start that as page 1 and then follow page 1 through 7. Are there any objections to Mr. Chris's testimony being admitted?
No objection, Your Honor.
Mr. Chris's testimony, pages 1 through 7, will be marked as Elkton's Exhibit 3.
Thank you, Your Honor. We're batting 1,000 here today for Elkton, but I appreciate it. And Mr. Chris is available for cross-examination or any questions. Thank you.
OPC, any questions?
I have no questions for Mr. Chris. Thank you.
Mr. Wilson?
Staff has no questions, Your Honor.
Okay, I actually have a question. On page 5, Mr. Chris, of your testimony, you discussed the recall provisions in the AMA. Can you give a scenario or example of when the company would have to utilize this provision?
Certainly. If there was an instance where the asset manager breached the contract, such as force majeure, failing to deliver gas supply. The recall provisions allow the company to claw back the rights to ship gas on that capacity, so that it could either go purchase gas on its own behalf or immediately find a substitute shipper and then re-release that capacity to that shipper.
Okay. If for some reason the recall provision had to be implemented for any reason, would there be any change to the annual credit that flows to Elkton customers through the PGA?
Your Honor, I'm not sure I can completely answer that question. If there's an event where the company is recalling capacity, I imagine it would be a breach of contract, and so I would immediately escalate that to legal, because with the fee being a component of the AMA, I do imagine that would probably be affected by an event necessitating recall of that capacity.
Are there any questions in light of my questions? Mr.
No questions.
Mr. Wilson?
No questions, Your Honor.
No questions, Your Honor.
Okay.
No,
Mr. Quinn?
No, thank you, Your Honor, and I'm all out of witnesses.
Okay. Thank you. OPC, Mr. Sheehan, you indicated you did not have any witnesses, correct?
Correct. We do not. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Wilson?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Staff's first witness is Olivia Kuykendall, and we would call her at this time.
Ms. Kuykendall, can you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Can you say and spell your name for the record, please?
Sure. My name is Olivia Kuykendall, spelled OLIVIA-KUYKENDALL.
Thank you. Go ahead, Mr. Wilson.
Thank you. Ms. Kuykendall, could you state your position with the commission?
I am a regulatory economist for the Telecommunications, Water, and Gas Division at the Commission.
And in that capacity, did you prepare and cause to be filed direct testimony and exhibits dated November 13th, 2020, and docketed on November 16th as mail log 232600?
Yeah.
Your Honor, if I could have Ms. Kuykendall's testimony and exhibits marked as Staff Exhibit 1.
So marked.
Did you write this testimony?
Yeah.
And do you have any corrections or additions to your testimony?
No, I do not.
And to your knowledge, information, and belief, was your testimony true and correct when written and filed?
Yeah.
And does it remain true and correct today?
Yeah.
With that, Your Honor, I would move Ms. Kuykendall's testimony, Staff Exhibit 1, into evidence, and I would produce the witness for cross-examination and questions by the court.
Thank you. Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
No objection from Elkton, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Kuykendall's testimony will be admitted as Staff's Exhibit 1, pages 1 through 4, and exhibits OK1 through OK3. Mr. Quinn, do you have any questions for Ms. Kuykendall?
Thank you, Your Honor. I have no questions for Ms. Kuykendall.
Mr. Sheehan?
Yes, Your Honor. Similarly, I have no questions for Ms. Kuykendall.
Thank you, and I have no questions.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor. Staff will call its next witness, Mr. Felix Patterson.
Okay. Mr. Patterson, can you raise your right hand, please?
Yes.
Oh, it's bad feedback. All right, is that better? Can everyone hear me?
Can hear you. I think Mr. Patterson's
I just
unmuted.
muted him, but he's got, looks like he's called in twice. Let's see. I unmute. Now I can't hear him now. Mr. Patterson,
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. I think you're in on two devices though.
Ask him if he has his phone on as well.
Yeah, do you have your phone on, sir?
No, my phone's off.
Okay.
He can call in again off through the phone, or he can try to reset again. It's not working.
Okay.
You want me to go out and come back in?
That would be
I
good
think
if
that
you
would
could
be the
try.
best thing to do.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Your Honor, it looks like he was signed in twice.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you. Yes, you're through the. We can see you too.
Okay, thank you.
You can raise your right hand, please. Swear or affirm to tell the truth and the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
I do.
Thank you. Go ahead, Mr. Wilson.
Thank you. Mr. Patterson, could you state your position with the commission?
I'm a utility auditor with the State of Maryland Public Service Commission.
And in that position, in that capacity, did you prepare and cause to be filed direct testimony and exhibits dated November 13th, 2020, docketed on November 16th as a mail log 232600?
Yes, I did.
And Your Honor, if I could have that marked as Staff Exhibit 2.
Marked.
Mr. Patterson, did you write this testimony?
Yes, I did.
Do you have any corrections or additions to your testimony?
No, I do not.
And to your knowledge, information, and belief, was your testimony true and correct when written and filed?
Yes, it was.
And does it remain true and correct today?
Yes, it does.
Your Honor, with that, I would move Mr. Patterson's testimony, Staff Exhibit 2, into evidence.
Are there any objections?
No objection, Your Honor.
No objection, Your Honor.
Thank you. The direct testimony of Felix Patterson, pages 1 through 14, and exhibits FLP 1 through 3 are admitted as staff's Exhibit 2.
Mr. Patterson, were you listening when Mr. Everngham gave his testimony this morning?
Yes, I was.
And do the corrected numbers that he provided to the court and entered into evidence, do those comport with the numbers you arrived at in your testimony?
Yes, it does.
Thank you. With that, Your Honor, I would offer the witness for cross-examination and questioning by the court.
Mr. Quinn, do you have any questions?
Thank you, Your Honor. No questions for this witness, but I would like to thank Commission staff for all their hard work on this. This was Chesapeake's first time, the parent company's first time operating in Elkton Gas PGA, and I really appreciate the time and effort on everyone's part. Thank you, Your Honor. No questions.
Thank you. Mr. Sheehan, do you have any questions?
I have no questions for the witness.
Mr. Evergrande, could you turn your mic off?
Do you have any other witnesses, Mr. Wilson?
No, Your Honor, that concludes staff's case.
Okay. I think that's the end. Concludes today's hearing. Thank you, everyone, for your appearances and for the delay in between. I appreciate everyone cooperating. There's nothing else. We can conclude the meeting.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Off the record, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.